Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the weekly Pint. Late, a day late, but we're here. It's been a week. I was just telling my wife, who I saw for like 7 seconds as I walked in the door before I came down here. I have not eaten an actual meal since Sunday. I've not had a minute to have some kind of semblance of normal person life since before that. It's been crazy, but it's good, right? we do this. I don't know why we do this to ourselves. Today was a good day. I finished recording an episode of Cincy Brewcast. Next week's episode, Little Miami. Sat down with Beer Dave and Jim from Little Miami, and we talked beer. We talked beer, and we talked collectibles, and we talked all kinds of fun stuff. So you have that to look forward to next week. If you're new to this, it's normally a Monday night show, and we kind of hang out and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's a happy hour. It's not a show. So we all drink together and then just talk about random things. Sometimes beer, sometimes we talk about other stuff, but it's a happy hour. You understand how happy hours work, right? But the point of the show is to talk to each other. So that's where this gets interesting. You can, number one, you can chat wherever you at, and in a second it'll pop up on the screen like right here. It'll pop up on there, and you can talk that way. But more exciting, you can call into the show, and there's the number right there, right there, 567-70-DRINK. That's 567-703-7465. You can call right in, and it'll patch you right in here to the board, and we can talk that way. Marco says he just cracked a Holidays from Mad Tree. Let me pull the chat up here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I have a choice of what beer I'm going to crack open. I have two nostalgia beers. We'll talk about that in just a second. Or I have New Ales. Oh my God, Becky, look at that pumpkin. I have not tried that one yet. I feel like no, I don't know if I've had either one of these. I feel like I've had maybe the Oktoberfest if it was on last year. I don't know. Either way, these are all exciting for me, and I need to drink one of them. Chris is drinking Best of Times, the 50 West and Great Lakes collaboration. Yeah, I've got some of those in the fridge too. It will also be on tap at Beer, Booze, and Bonks, the greatest festival that you will ever be at in your life if you have your tickets. We have the tap list finally set in stone. It's done. It's almost all out there. There's a couple beers that will be announced tomorrow, and then I think the last one gets announced on Thursday, I believe. So Thursday, I think the full tap list will be published. I'm gonna yawn this entire thing, man. I'm exhausted, you guys. This has been a long week. Somebody tell me what to crack open because I need a beer. I didn't pull any labels for tonight, but I do have something else I want to talk about. A couple weeks ago, let me pull that up real quick. I highlighted a label approval. Let me find it here. This was from Urban Artifact. My God, they have a lot of labels at this point. Okay. This was one that we saw come up a couple weeks ago. It's called Teak. It's a tropical American fruit tart brewed with pink guava, pineapple, key lime. 7.2%. Nothing crazy, but it Marco is drinking a High Life, I guess. Somebody tell me what I'm supposed to drink because I need to crack open a beer. So this label came through and it sounds delicious and it's awesome and whatever. But the interesting part was this right here, this American fruit tart. It's a style that doesn't exist before this, which is definitely an Urban Artifact thing. They do that, but I was questioning what that all meant. And I got an answer, and we'll talk about that. Marco says crack open the pumpkin, so we're cracking open the pumpkin. All right, let me get these out of the way. We'll just put them over here. I also, when I sat down to do the show, I found a random wine glass sitting on my desk. I don't know when that's from. All right, I'm excited to try this one. Big thanks to Wes from New Ales for getting some of these in my hand, because it's really hard for me to get everywhere. And he met me out at the Hub in Hamilton last week while I was recording and dropped off some beer for me. So let's dive into this game. All right. Pumpkin ale. Okay. There's a little bit of a description about who New Ales is. Middletown, uncomplicated approach, unique craft beer. Okay, government warning. Changing minds, one beer at a time. Oh, here we go. The spiced taste of pumpkin pie is what you can expect from your first sip. Bold flavors of lactose, cinnamon, brown sugar, clove, and honey will have you wanting cooler weather, hay rides, and pumpkin patches in no time. Okay, so maybe I'm breaking a rule here by drinking a pumpkin beer in November, but I'm okay with it. Oh yeah, it smells like a pumpkin beer. Well, that's dead on. It's very reminiscent of what Wooden Cask does with their pumpkin. I mean, it's bold, it's in your face, but it's still kind of light and easy drinking, if that makes sense. This is a perfect beer for like a daytime fall drinking, where you're sitting outside and you just need to pound some fall beers. That's great. 8%. Oh, yikes. That's gonna be a problem as I get it's really drinkable, you guys. Well, it's good. Well done. I also have a couple cans of the bourbon barrel aged version of this beer. I will not be drinking those tonight, but you maybe can stay tuned for them on, I don't know, some kind of YouTube video or social media video, something. I plan on drinking them, I can tell you that. That's really good. Hang on, give me a second. That is great. I love pumpkin beer. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, so let's talk about this American fruit tart. So I reached out on social media to ask what in the hell an American fruit tart is, because it's not a real style. As usual, got the perfect answer from Brett at Urban that kind of broke it all down for us of where they're at right now. Midwest fruit tart, that's the, Midwest fruit tarts, Gadget and things like that, is usually, I'm reading this from my phone, is usually between 2.7 to 3 pounds per gallon of fruit. It's around 10 to 15 IBUs and 8 to 9%, give or take, and a bit of dextrose to capitalize the fruit. The American fruit tart is 1.7 to 2 pounds per gallon of fruit. A bit higher in the IBUs, pushing towards 25 to 30. This helps with flavor balance. and an ABV of 6.5 to 7.5% ABV. So less fruit, less alcohol, higher IBUs is the difference. He then goes further, way further into kind of what they're doing right now. Says we are retooling our Goza beers a bit too, going to now just be fruit tarts. I like to think of it like this. In terms of hoppy beers, you have pale ales, IPAs, and double IPAs. If you take that same thinking, fruit tart would be the pale ale, American fruit tart would be an IPA, and double IPAs would be Midwest fruit tarts. So basically, we're trying to build a new nomenclature around our tart sour beers. He goes on further and says, largely, maybe entirely, because the BJCP and the Brewers Association style guidelines are purely reactionary. They kind of have to be. So by us establishing a new set of style rules, hopefully we can get others to jump on board, as well as our customers, to better understand what to expect with each beer. And, he keeps going, for a base fruit tart, it's 4 to 6% ABV, 0.75, 1.25 gallons of fruit, and 100% malt. No need to capitalize all these fruiting rates. He says, I know it's been a weird and confusing ride to all of our drinking fans going back to 2015, but thanks for the patience. We are working hard to better define ourselves, our products, and our new niche in 2022 to expand our reach and set better expectations for drinkers. I'm very excited. He says, one more thing. That's always good. With our distro beers becoming super honed and specialized, we are actually going back to our roots, in quotes, in 2022 for the taproom experience. Non-fruited sours, Brett beers, tart farmhouse ales, sour IPAs, it's all coming back in small batch, limited taproom only form. Calliope, Clothesline, Hearth, Postcard, Milkman, Barf, am I right? I liked Milkman. Kicksled, etc., etc. All have a chance of making a comeback, plus plenty of new beers pushing our skills to the test. I'm all about it. I love it. I love it so much. I love an urban artifact. I think that not to take away from what they're doing with the Midwest Fruit Tarts, the Dino Series. I love Dino Series. That's my favorite beers that they're doing are Dino beers, or even the seltzers. They're pushing categories. They're pushing skills. They're pushing definitions of what things are in the right way, and it's good product that they're putting out. But I miss walking in there and finding something that was unexpected. I don't need another Midwest fruit tart with a different kind of fruit. I'll take it, and it should keep existing, but I want new beers. Let's see. Justin says he's drinking hams tonight. All right. Zach says he listened to the latest episode of Marco's podcast. Hopefully I run into you and Julia at the Bonks. He'll be at the second session. Second session will probably be the good session, in theory. So we can talk about that a little bit. We have a couple breweries. There's probably 3 breweries right now that are bringing 2 different beers, which is great, and it's going to be fun. But it does mean that we have to make a choice to decide which beer gets tapped first and which beer gets tapped second, because we are not tapping them at the same time. Um, Zach, I'll answer that in just a second. So first session, we'll definitely have a shot at that beer. There's a chance that beer will run out, whatever the first one happens to be, before the second session. I don't anticipate that will happen. I anticipate what's going to happen is that those breweries that are bringing two different beers, there will be a little bit of a crossover. So the very beginning of session 2, there will be a ton of beers on tap. There will be several breweries that have both of their beers on at the same time. One of them will kick pretty quickly, and then the other one will be on the rest of the time. But second session, the moral of the story right now is that second session will have probably everything, probably, unless something crazy happens and everybody drinks one beer, but I don't think that'll happen. Okay. So, food stuff, food trucks. This changed a little bit from our first announcements. We do not have, I shouldn't say we don't have any food trucks. We have a food truck, sort of. It is not as crafty as I was hoping it was going to be. We have a catering company that is going to be doing food inside at the festival. This is not included with your ticket price. You have to, the food is separate. I think the caterer, all of their things are going to be $5-ish. I think $5 even is what they figured out. I don't know exactly what the food that they're doing is. I know there's some kind of mac and cheese, something. I don't know. We're not there yet. And then the second food option, I do know this one, is La Rosa's. The La Rosa's food truck will be there. You don't have to go to the food truck, though. They're going to have a tent inside that they are shuttling pizza in the whole time. I think it's like $3 maybe for a slice of pizza, something like that. That's our food options. We have a caterer doing some kind of sandwich, I think mac and cheese, and then pretzel necklaces maybe. I don't know. It's a discussion. It's a discussion that maybe I lost out on. Is what I'm what I've learned over the process here. I wanted food trucks very badly. I wanted local food trucks doing something exciting, and well, Zach's excited about La Rosa's, so there's that. I would have rather had, well, La Rosa's is great. I love La Rosa's. We do have, like I said, full beer list has been figured out. This will get announced on Thursday, but it's right here. There it is. There's everything. So Thursday it'll all be finalized. Most of it will be done tomorrow. I think we have, I should say this. We have 2 beers being announced tomorrow. That is, let me try to remember here. 9 Giant. Yes. That's tomorrow. And actually that's different than what's written down here. I gotta talk to Meryl. So 9 Giant, Mad Tree gets released on Thursday. And then, sorry, I'm looking here trying to remember what the other one is for tomorrow. Oh, Listerman? Did I announce Listerman yet? I think they're also tomorrow. I think. I have to look at my schedule, but Julia is home with her Wendy's. That sounds awesome. Like I mentioned earlier, I have not gotten a meal since Sunday. Like literally, I've eaten crackers, coffee, and beer and water have been the only things that have entered into my body since Sunday because I've been so freaking busy. Zach says, "Too bad you couldn't get Goodfellas." I mean, yeah, yes. Like I said, it gets complicated when you're trying to balance out several different people and what they want and what they need or what their relationships with other places are, whatever. All right, Zach says, so do you take your ticket to a booth to get the beer on tap, or do you give each ticket to the servers and they bring it to you? No, it's a typical beer festival. There's booths. There are 26 different booths set up with people standing there pouring beers. We have the Pink Ribbon Girls. It's a charity. There are beer pourers, and then we have people from the breweries that will also be at the booths talking about the beer. But you get a little punch card with your 20 tasters on it. Lemonade stand type. Exactly. You go up to the lemonade stand and you say, hey, I need that. I need that beer. And they say, okay, punch, fill, drink. And then rinse and repeat. Super cool that Matt D has a booth there for his Pints for Vets. Yeah, the Vets and Brews will be there. I think he's going to be collecting some donations if anybody wants to donate to them. We have, as of right now, I think we have 3 other kind of vendors. Not their charities, but vendors like selling stuff. We have some kind of, there's, I should have had it in front of me right now, plants in like beer can plants. They'll be there. We have an artist that is doing some kind of, he does almost like a ink line art kind of stuff. I don't know what his name was. Sorry, not prepared. And then there's a brewery maps, like a letterpress map that you can buy, and then you fill in like when you go to different breweries, and you can have like this map on your wall, this really sweet looking letterpress thing. Cool stuff, like more artsy local things. And then maybe one more where I don't think we're confirmed on the last one. Ink lines on paper. That's called drawing. Yeah, you can draw with different things other than ink. You can do like pencils or charcoal or pastels. Those little guys. Crayons. You can color in crayons. Zach says, "Are you going to have a booth with Meryl talking to people, or are you guys going to be too busy running around?" We'll see. I may have a booth, but even if I have a booth, it'll probably be somebody else there selling merch and giving some merch away. We'll talk about that in a second. If I don't have a booth, even if I do have a booth, we'll probably be running around most of the time. We'll be trying to make our rounds, trying to hang out at different stations throughout the night to talk beer with people and to drink beer, more importantly, because if we have a table and we're stuck at a table, it's gonna be really hard for us to get beer. So yeah, we'll be making our rounds more than likely. I do tentatively have plans to do some giveaways. The thing I've been toying with in my head right now is every hour, and this is not set in stone, so don't count on it. But every hour on the hour, doing some kind of scavenger hunt thing. So I might say that the next person that takes a selfie with a beer that has fruit in it and tags Folding Warehouse or whatever on Instagram wins a prize pack. And the prize pack, well, I could pull it all out, but we obviously have Gnarly Gnome glasses, drink local. And you got your happy little gnome guy here. We've also got T-shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff. Chris says live episode of Cincy Brewcast. Maybe, but probably not. I'll probably do some kind of content somewhere, video for YouTube or maybe some live stuff, but probably not a Cincy Brewcast. Cincy Brewcast requires me to be a little more sober than I will be. I'm gonna be a little stinko. Julia says best glassware ever. I love this glass. If you guys don't have this, I'm sorry. And then it says drink local on this side. There you go. They will be on the store eventually whenever I can get a chance to sit down and rebuild the store. Marco says live episode of Truth Beer Consequences. Yes, I think that should happen and will happen. Maybe a 0.5.5. Because it's not about events, it's from an event. Zach says, I'm surprised Dan out at Swine City doesn't have anything on tap for bunks. Yeah, there's a lot of, there are several breweries that we would have loved to have there, but we just, it's very complicated trying to figure out who gets invited and who doesn't. There are places that I am deeply in love with that are not represented. Julia says a 0.25. No, I like 0.5 and a half. Zach says year 2. Yeah. So next year, if we are able to do this again next year I think we'll be able to, depending on how many of everybody buys tickets. I think we'll be good next year, and it will definitely it will grow somehow. I don't know if it'll be more beers or I don't know. I don't know how we keep growing it and keep turning it into what it could be. I don't know yet. We haven't even talked about that. We haven't even started thinking about next year because we're still focused on this year. It's going to be really good, you guys. There are some beers on here. So just looking at the list. All right, I'm going to count how many beers I have not gotten a chance to just really sit and drink. I think I've tried most of these, even just a small sample of an unfinished beer, but beers that the average person has definitely not had. Let's say 1, definitely 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 13. That one's a good one. 14. 15. So there are 15 beers that I'm counting that I'm confident you have not tried. Marco, let's see. Okay. Julia says, what's the ticket limit at each session? It's a little fluid right now. We can fit, I don't know what capacity of the venue is, but like I said, we have a half barrel for each session. So we're trying to make sure that beer does not run out from each session. So it's a complicated equation. We have not released actual numbers of how many tickets we are going to sell. Marco says, bring the stuff. If it's easier, I can bring. I got this little guy that I use. So this is my super portable podcast recorder, 4 channels. I'll bring this. I'll have this in my shit, so you don't have to bring a big mixer. If you guys want to do a podcast, you can use my stuff. Zach says, can you talk a little more about that new brewery opening up in Hamilton? I think it was Amp or something. It was on your podcast. You talked about this Monday. Yeah, so it's a brewery in planning. There's not a lot out there about them yet. They're still pretty early on in the process. Excuse me. So Greg Snow, formerly of Deadlow, formerly of Narrow Path. This is his new project. He's working with some folks to get this brewery opened up in the east side of Hamilton's downtown Dora district. So the very the furthest east end of downtown. So by like McDonald's and all that stuff down there. They are talking about doing some distilling and not a lot out there yet, but we'll see. Julia says, bring the H1 in. I'm not going to have drunk Julia try P8. Julia says, I want a P4. Marco says, yep, we'll do that. Yeah, I'll have mine. You guys can use it. That's fine. Just don't spill any beer on it. This thing's great, by the way. I love it. We could get really nerdy and go podcast talk, but this thing has replaced pretty much the way I do mobile podcasts now. It goes to this. It's fun. Zach says, are you excited about today's first variant release look of Dark Charge? Oh, yeah, we could talk about Dark Charge. So, yeah, the first 4 were released today. Let me pull up some info about that. Let's see. Oh. Getting all kinds of sound. Sorry. Pull it up here. So not only am I excited about it, I am thrilled. Like, this is going to be my favorite Dark Charge release yet, I think. So the first 4 that they have announced are far left over there. The bourbon barrel aged, I can't even point to it the way this thing is. It doesn't make sense. The orange Curacao, a chocolate hazelnut coffee, and then a coconut cream puff. The coconut one sounds wonderful. So I've tried this year's base variant of these. I'm really excited to try the orange Curacao. I'll get to that, Julia. So the orange Curacao is really fun because it doesn't have any adjuncts in it. There's no actual orange added to that beer. It's all from the barrel. It's from an orange Curacao barrel from Toledo Spirits, I think. So I'm really curious to try that one to see how much orange comes through from the booze and how much barrel comes through from the barrel. But yeah, I haven't tried that one. Have not tried the chocolate hazelnut coffee, but I am confident they worked with Deeper Roots. Like very heavily to try to get a style of coffee that doesn't lend any of that green peppery kind of note. Yes, the coconut cream puff definitely has lactose in it. Okay, so Julia says, it seems they always have a coffee and an orange variant, or have the last year or two. Is that something you always try to have year after year? There was not an orange last year. It was like 2 years ago, I think, that they had the other orange, whatever that was, which was delicious. So it's not a thing that they try to do. I don't even think that coffee is something that they try to make sure that they always have. It just happens to be that they always have something with coffee in it, because coffee just goes good with a imperial stout. So I've gotten to try 3 of this year's variants, the base, and then 2 other ones that actually have not even been announced yet. And they're incredible. I'm really excited about this year. There's one in particular that I think is just phenomenal, and that's the one that Julia, you also got to try, because I snuck one away. And I think you guys are gonna like it. I think it's definitely still very dark charge, still very adjuncty, kind of different, but fits with everything that they are doing. Okay, Zach says, do you know if they're having all the variants on tap at the Cincy location? I went last year and liked that it was less packed. I don't know. They have not announced kind of what the plans are for the other tap rooms that day. I don't think that they're going to. I don't think everything will be on tap that day at the Cincy location. Here's what I'll say. If you just want to get to try them all, there will be a chance after Dark Charge Day, for sure, at one of the locations where it's not as crowded, to be able to try them all. If you want to really experience what Dark Charge Day is, you got to go to Covington. You got to... is this a day late? Yeah. Yes, this is a day late for the Newport Report. You have to go to Covington to really experience what Dark Charge Day is about. It's not just getting to go to a tap room and to try all of the Dark Charge beers. It's about the whole experience around it. There's live music, incredible live music. There's great food from a lot of their local kind of places around them. And then throughout the day, there's not only Dark Charge, there's guest taps. There's it's an absolute blast. Zach says I might as well go to the Kentucky side. Went to the Kentucky side in 2019. Yeah, it's, to me, that's the only real way to experience Dark Charge Day. It was nice being able to go out that day and have like a not crowded tap room to do it, but I don't know if they've announced this yet, but they are working in some kind of a delivery thing too. So you can, Dark Charge is still pre-order for the bottles. You'll order them online and then pick them up that day. You can order online and get it delivered to you if you live in Kentucky or Ohio. And I think that's completely missing the whole experience of what Dark Charge is about. There's been plenty of years. So, if you are a Braxton builder, so one of the Kickstarter backers, you get to pre-order stuff like this ahead of time. So every year I've never had to wait in line to get my bottles of Dark Charge. I order them, and then they're all ready to go, and I pick them up. Even with that, most years, the last couple years aside, because of all of the stuff that's going on, I still show up and hang out early for Dark Charge Day, because hanging out in line and sharing beers and all of that is a huge part of what this release is about. So I'm not gonna keep going on this topic, but Zach wants to know what brewery Marco works for again. I'll refresh my mind. I don't know. Marco, are we good to talk about who you work for? I don't know. Shift Beers has my my rules all messed up. Are we allowed to talk where everybody works? Zach also hates the parking over there. It's not that bad. I think it's really not that bad. Marco works for Cellar Dweller, or BC's, or Cintas. It's very confusing. And they're out of Morrow Valley Vineyards, Cellar Dweller, winery, brewery, everything all tucked into one spot. So parking isn't that bad. I don't think it's any more difficult to park in Covington than it is in Pendleton, personally. Cellar Dweller says, or Zach says, Cellar Dweller is that shit. Newbert Report says, Newbert is here. Been missing it last 3 weeks. Yeah, life is chaotic. I understand that more than I want to. But we are right at our 45-minute mark, which means I need to start wrapping it up, because I need to go upstairs, try to pick up some of the chaos that is all over my house. I came home last night after another long night, and walked in the house, and there was like old spaghetti on the counter and toys on the floor, and you guys have no idea. But we are so close to being able to talk about some of the fun things that are coming, and some of the reasons that things have been so chaotic for the past little bit here. It's gonna get better. I promise it's gonna get better. And I think I can start talking about some of it a little bit a week from this Friday. I think is D-Day. for those of you who know, but it's gonna be good. Zach says, time to go upstairs, drink more beer, and watch Squid Game. Right? I actually finished Squid Game. That's one of the few shows that I actually watched. I watched it in like 20-minute segments until I got through the whole thing. I usually try to leave myself 20 minutes or so to watch something before bed, in bed. And yeah, Squid Game is one of them. Marco says, awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a couple weeks. So not this next episode of the Weekly Pint, but I think the one after that, right? Does that sound right? Yep. Next week. Yeah, it'll be Thanksgiving week. So the week of Thanksgiving, that Weekly Pint, we can start talking a little bit about. I don't want to be, well, you'll understand. Yeah, we'll be able to talk a little bit about what's going on. So stay tuned for that, and then stay tuned for the chaos, the different type of chaos that brings with it. Thank you guys. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. This next episode of Cincy Brewcast, we are over at Little Miami. We're talking to them about Little Miami, and the event center that they have finally gotten done. And I had Beer Dave, if you guys know Beer Dave. He was on the show talking about the BCCA collectibles show that's happening after Thanksgiving. I think they call it the day after Thanksgiving show, something like that. So we talked about that. We talked about, both of these guys, Jim and Dave, have been part of the Cincinnati beer community for 25 plus years. So they've seen a little bit of evolution in their time. So we talked a little bit about that and about what makes it all work for them, and it was good. Good episode. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And if you really like what I do here, the best way to support is to share it with a friend and tell them about Cincy Brewcast or the Weekly Pint or my YouTube channel or something. That's how we keep all this going, right? Keeps my wife happy. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Sorry we were a day late, but sometimes it happens. We'll see you next week. Cheers. If it's wrong to drink pumpkin beer in November, I don't know that I want to be right. Because this is good.